The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance, expressing the feelings and emotions into a physical realm where every eye and ear can interpret it into reality. A reality through which an artist will inspire, entertain, and give hope to the hopeless.
Today we were having some wonderful conversation with one Nicole Mutheu about her passion for art, about her passion for the community, and what I can say is that she's very hardworking, trustworthy. She's a team player and she embraces professionalism in all that she does. And she really likes empowering the community in terms of helping artists to come out in large numbers to articulate their visions that they have and passion for the society. I grew up with her from our church. We were in AAC Plainsview doing our Sunday school, and then later on we changed churches. We went to Mavuno Church, whereby now she's serving in the present worship team. Yes, and we still continue our friendship.
Your love is greater than the mountains, deeper than the valley. Your love is everlasting. Your love is greater than the mountains, deeper than the valley. Your love is everlasting. It goes to the right, it goes to the left. Your love goes around, it goes around, it goes around. Your love is greater than the mountains, deeper than the valley. Your love is everlasting. Your love is greater than the mountains, deeper than the valley. Your love is everlasting.
My name is Nicole Ithau. I do a variety of things, which is social media. I do music, and I do create content and all those things.
Just like any other African child, Nicole has got a story to tell about her childhood and remembers what it was like growing up in her hood.
We are a family of 4. I'm talking I'm talking on behalf of my father. Yes, so my father has 4 children, 4 girls, so I'm part of those girls. It's an interesting thing in terms of having, being part of the child, and from there, in terms of my background, I came from a loving background, caring and supportive, and I remember when I was younger, I would sing in the stairs. That's what my sister recalls of me, and it was just an integral part of what I wanted to do, because I remember there was a point where my parents took me to see someone, and they asked me what would I want to be, and I was like, I want to be an artist, a musician, and that was the first thing that I wanted to be. I grew up from a place of, like I said, love and all that. However, there were hardships and the moments, of course, certain things I lacked, but to be honest, my parents were there for me each and every step. Even when certain situations in terms of money lacked, there was that sense of support from my mom, from my dad, going to school. Of course, there are certain things that I didn't have, like those extra luxurious things when kids had, go for games, all those things, extra instruments and all that, having those instruments playing. Some kids were they had that capability, or that drive would be taken out on Saturdays or Sundays, even to Huru Park, those things. Those are just the small things, but those are things that I didn't experience some of them at some time. But as I grew older, I was able to experience them. I came from South Sea and then moved to South Bay. So most of my childhood is in South Bay. I went to primary school. I went to Our Lady Queen of Peace, and that experience, Catholic, Catholic and all that. I really loved Catholic for some reason, just for dancing and vibes. I really loved that, and it was an experience. Of course, we're all from different backgrounds, and my I think I can say my aunts have really my aunties really have influenced me, taking me to different places, swimming. So experiencing that and then going to school and sharing it, some people did like it, kids did like it. So I kind of did get bullied. I did get bullied in my childhood, and I remember it was not funny, but I really took that very hard. But I thank God for my sister who went to school and was like, no, stop bullying my sister. So that memory of support and love is what I'm talking about. As I grew older, I didn't pursue. I was like quiet. I was very shy. In high school as well, I was shy. And then my sister and my mom was like, you know what? I think this would be a great opportunity to sing in church. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll sing in church. I went to church and sang. That's where I started actually, from church, sharing my gifts with serving community, as I said. And it was a great opportunity at AIC Plainsview. That's where I started from, and I was just singing. And yeah, from there I was like, hey, I need more. Like I need to give more rather than just church, but also serve out there. So from there, I was a bit shy. You don't know, like, oh my gosh, will people accept me? So I went through a sense of self-esteem issues, going through that sense. But as I grew older, I can say as I grew older, I dated someone who really influenced where I am today in terms of music. Gave me that sense of platform. So we created a mutual friend of ours called Betty. She really impacted me, and she was like, you know what, I know that you guys can be able to do a gig in 2 weeks. So figuring out and doing a gig within 2 weeks, and it's Christmas period in 2019. So yeah, we did the gig, people loved it, and it was Christmas, and everyone was in a cheer mood. So from there I was like, oh wow, we can do it again. Continued with Confessions on February, talking about love experiences, which many people don't talk about, the love had conversations. And thereafter, COVID hit. I was like, you know what, let's support children and people in the streets. So I came up with Instagram Live, created a poster with my sister, and shared with the world, and also contributed to children and also the people who are living in the streets and they don't have money. So those are the things that I did. And then thereafter, this year I was able to share with the world, serving the community through music, talking about Afro Swahili fusion, and reminding people about Africa as well. We're all Africans, and I know we love modern things, but also talking about it and just appreciating the writers who wrote Swahili, things. And it was a great opportunity, and yeah, that's where my musical background comes from.
Starting small but sure of her end goal, this songbird found her joy in community service.
I was working at Odeon Cinema, Monday to Friday working, then during Saturday and Sunday church. People are isolated and I was like, I need to do this. I need to create something just to challenge people in terms of hope, giving people hope, reminding people that in as much as this is happening, we need to do something for the people in the streets, because many people in the streets were affected as well. Churches were affected, businesses was affected as well. So I was able to create. I was just like, you know what, this is the feeling that I have in my heart, and I was able to tell my sister, and we created. Even in work, I was like singing. It's funny. I would sing and just write songs, and I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do, and going back, working on Monday, in the evening now strategizing what I need to do to create that platform. So my sister helped me with the graphics, and I shared with her a photo that I love and created that platform. And after doing that, my family were the ones who helped me and supported me with the money, contributed that money and bought foodstuffs, and then I was able to take it off and give it and supply to people in the streets. Through those experiences, you learn that I would have gone in the route of, partnership with a company that, knows those people. It would have been better as compared to just, buying and giving to those people who are in town, because you don't know, each one of them may have their strategy of, this is a business that I'm doing, Later on I was like, I felt like it was a business. It was kind of like a business. No one told me, but I felt like, okay, why is my heart telling me this is wrong? Like, I'm doing it for a good reason, but in the result, it's different. There's a guy called the caretaker at Odeon. He's the one called Julius who helped me. He was like, there's this person that I've seen, he helped me distribute. And then thereafter, I was like seeing just people who are really struggling. I was like distributing foodstuffs. I went and I bought, and I took a photo of, I made sure that everything was, authentic, and everyone would be able to know that this, I didn't eat the money. Sometimes people eat money. So I took the money out, went to the Naivas and bought foodstuffs, just oil, unga, and all that. That's what I did. And thereafter, just distributed to anyone who I just saw. It was very interesting. I've never done that before. It was my first time, and just, having something at least to give someone. Although there were some who were fighting at that time, fighting for, it's mine. But it was a great experience. Just, it's not about me. It was just being able to help someone and be like, you know what, I know that you need food, to take you through the day, because I know this situation called COVID has changed everyone's life. So I was like, you know what, this is yours. It didn't change anything in my heart, to be honest. It didn't change like the person who I am, but it just made me know that whatever I have, I can make an impact. I felt the urge to really support people in the streets.
They say that we know an age more vividly through its music than through its historians, and that's why Ithau has taken it to her heart to ensure every artist is given a platform to tell their story as part of our culture and history.
I dated someone at that time, and we had this dream of, music, and he's a poet, I'm a singer. So coming back, looking back at artists who are doing poetry and music called poetry. Only in America, the artists who collaborate and do poetry and music. So it's not in Nairobi, in Kenya. So you've not heard of artists. You only hear like of Sauti Soul. We don't know poets. We've not heard of poets. And yes, there are poets, but bringing it together with music. So we were like, oh, I do music, but at that time I was like, you know what, I don't believe you write well. I was just interested. I was like, I don't think you write well, but let me just give it a go. So with that, with our friend being like, you know what, I know you guys can make it, I know you guys can do it, and I know you guys are very talented. So let's do this. My friend called it, he was like, you know what, I give you a challenge to do it in 2 weeks. So both of us were like, okay, we've never done it before. So the church also supported, the church supported us and helped us with the chairs, and also the pastor came. So it was really beautiful. The event happened, people showed up, like support. People just supported, and it was amazing. And we realized from there we want to continue doing music, but this time having a reason of why we want to do it. And we came up with the backyard and just music, because it was acoustic. It was way of us, sharing our gifts. And acoustic is more, to be honest, it's more cheaper. So it's a safer way to express yourself in a different way, rather than having a lot of sound,
drums and all that. So from there we decided to do confessions in February before COVID hit. So we did confessions of love, talking about our experience of love. They really listened, and it was just impactful, like people going home with something other than just music, but just conversations about love. Using my music to serve, I did Instagram Live, and from there on, 2021 was when I was like, okay, I think we need to go back, but still people and, restaurants were not opening yet. So it took a hit on restaurants as well. So we waited till 2022. I was like, I need to get out, I need to share, and impact. At first I wanted to do love, but it changed too much. We were able to do celebrating women, We normally talk about love, but we never talk about so much about celebrating women. So we did an event of that type, and then thereafter I wanted to do more of it. So we did Swahili fusion, and I realized I don't have a genre, but there are things which I really love about music, which is R&B, soul. So I'm more getting into R&B, soul, jazz. We want people to come and just different type of music, not just mainstream. Okay, no offense to any mainstream artist, but these are just stories that we all have, writings. Some of them we wrote, some of them were just songs that really we resonated with, and we wanted people to also resonate with, because we all remember that life can have challenges.
It doesn't end there. Nicole has come to understand that by coming together, empowering each other, and creating a platform where artists can interact and express themselves will surely go a long way in fighting poverty that leads to street families and crime.
I was able to do confessions, there were artists who shared their story about love, and it was a great experience. Many artists came, shared their songs, and we were prayed for. It was an amazing, and that was the reason why we started that. We started gigging and doing events. It's just to allow people to share their stories, and there's so many platforms. Sometimes it's so hard. The reason being why we wanted to support artists is because we tried to look for ways in places and spaces, and sometimes either it's clicks, it's too hard to penetrate. You're given a timeline, by other artists, or you're put out, So from there on, I was like, you know what, the both of us were like, you know what, we'd love to celebrate and help artists in the best way. We may not have the finances, but we would love to help people just to share their stories through songs, through songs, and just though it was mainly for songs and not other forms like dancing, writing, and maybe perhaps I need to explore that. Right now I'm trying to figure out for myself what I need right now. You can't just bring people unless you have already within yourself figured out for yourself how you're going to bring them along. But I think it would be nice to bring artists who almost you resonate in terms of where you'd want to go in terms of collaboration. Sometimes you may want to collaborate with an artist and they don't want to collaborate. It's a way to support, not just for myself, but it going from one person to another person. Everyone has a different mindset. So it's bringing it from self to another person. Having artists have that mindset of sharing and caring about not just self, but I think that's where I would want to collaborate and bring them along, not just for myself, but to bring legacy. Music is just not something we're given for ourselves. It's meant to be shared, and then shared from one generation to the other. And I think that's where currently I feel like we are lacking as artists is supporting one another. We're all winning in different ways, and I think even through number one and number two benefiting, I feel like even 5 and 6 wants to benefit as well. And that's the challenge that I face with artists. I feel like what's lacking is mentorship a lot. Mentorship and helping and supporting. Those are the two things. It's just not on social media. You just see people support on social media, but when the rubber meets the road, it's a different story.
I can't stop but wonder why and where her motivation comes from.
Those encouragements when things get hard has pushed me to be here. Even as you're interviewing me, it's been a journey, and it's been now a year for me, and I feel like still I'm scratching the surface. You never get tired of selling once, and you go to different directions, because through jewelry I was able to meet with different designers in Movenpick. I was able to meet people in church who love jewelry. People love jewelry in church mostly, and you get to see their faces. You get to see their faces, and you're like, wow, this is what I want. A friend of mine saw what I did with my business online and suggested to me to do social media for one of our friends who is in our Bible study. From then, one of his workmates that he was working with bailed, so I was able to come in and assist with the social media. I want people to feel good, women especially. I feel like the world has been really cruel to us, and sometimes wearing ornaments it's just not for the opposite sex, is for yourself, to just make yourself feel good. And that's the reason why I did it. And I made a slogan called Bold Meets Brave. Sometimes we're told not to speak enough, and I feel like we need to be bold with the jewelry. Wear it, do it, make yourself out there, regardless of what people say about you. You just keep on being bold and being brave.
Her interactions with street families left her with many questions that she soon or later needed answers.
We went to Githonguri to experience and to know what exactly it is that I'm working. I was able to, to just hear about what they're doing in terms of awareness and institutional care. Not taking a child to institutional, but to family care. After they've noticed that there is a problem with that, from that experience and just seeing people who love children and want to make a difference and impact children. So that for me inspired me, and I was like, wow, people out here are really, they really do care about kids.
Knowing that she couldn't have achieved this on her own, Ithau expresses her benevolent community.
God has really helped me persevere through a lot. What I've just said is I've just scratched the surface. There's so much about the things that I've experienced in my life, and I can't just say it in this medium, because I believe that there's so much more. Slowly by slowly, I'm processing and healing. Being in community, reminded of who you are as a person, as an individual, and my family, they've done it so well for me, because as I'm talking to you, I've gone through challenges, and they have really held me down and hugged me in a different way and loved on me. And my friends, having those banter conversations, those things really has impacted me to open up and speak up and not close myself. Because sometimes they say, of course, women, we talk, but sometimes we don't. At times we don't share with people, and sometimes there are certain experiences you don't want to open up the wounds of your past. But having those conversations really help, at least starting slowly by slowly, starting with a friend and trusting, because sometimes it can be so hard to trust people, but you just start from someone who you believe you can trust. I would like to thank God for bringing me here through my friend Bob. I thank you, Bob, for loving on me and giving me that challenge.
What I can advise everyone to do, especially those who are in art entertainment, is not to give up in any talent that you have. Just be focused, come out the best, and trust in God, and just have confidence in what you do, and know that you're gonna go far.
I thank God for the Bugunkos. I thank God for my family. My family, just being able to love on me, and my relatives, my aunties and my uncle supporting me in one way or another. I'm really grateful to them. Osa vinya duka make Yesu evo. Osa vinya duka make Yesu